My name is Connor Galloway, and I am the Hope Squad advisor at Rock Hill High School for Prosper ISD in Frisco, Texas. And I did not always want to be a teacher. I wanted to be a doctor initially because I thought that I wanted to do a career that helps people. And my 18-year-old brain thought, okay, the only career that helps people is being a doctor. And so I went to college on the pre-med track. And after my very first chemistry test, I said, okay, so I'm probably not going to be a doctor. Um, and actually went back home during my fall break the week after the test. And I was talking with a teacher that I had in high school who was kind of a mentor for me. And I was complaining about how difficult my classes were and I wanted to be a doctor and I wanted to help people, but I didn't think that that was going to work out for me. And mid conversation, he was sitting there listening to me, and I just had an epiphany of kind of, wait a second, you've had this huge impact on me and you still are, even though I've already graduated and you're not my teacher anymore. Maybe that's something that I could do to be able to give back and to help others. And so I went back to campus the next week and changed my major, met with my advisor, switched to education. And from day one of my spring semester at Baylor University, they got us in the classroom working with middle school students. And I just fell in love with it. And so the more I got involved in education classes and programs in college and started being in the classroom more, the more I realized that I really had a heart for this. And it was something that I really, really felt fulfilled and felt called to do. And so my big philosophy of teaching is that if at the end of the day the student doesn't understand the content, that's okay. That can be retaught. But if they don't feel seen and heard and loved and valued, then that is really, really hard to make up. And so that is what drives me a little bit in the classroom is, yeah, I teach world geography in addition to Hope Squad, but that's kind of just an avenue for me to love kids and make sure that they're their best selves, and they know that uh, they have worth and value that they can provide to the world and that they do provide. And so I started at Prosper High School in the 2019-2020 school year, where Tony Cooper led the Hope Squad program there in its first year. And I volunteered to help out however I could my first year at the campus. And then that was the COVID year. So I didn't end up finishing the spring semester. Everything went online. But I had applied to transfer to Rock Hill High School, which was going to be opening the following year in Prosper ISD. And our going to be principal, Dustin Toth, called me into his little office one day. And I say little office because it was really just a janitor's closet, I think, in the current high school that he was stationed in. And he said, "Hey, Connor, I approved your transfer. And in addition to teaching social studies, how would you feel about leading the Hope Squad program at Rock Hill?" And I probably jumped up out of the chair and I was like, "Yes, please, absolutely. What do I need to do? Let's get started right now." And I was so excited and just grateful that he'd asked me to do that and saw something in me to provide me with that opportunity. And since then, it's really been my main priority of working in education is focusing on students' mental health and recognizing the tremendous immeasurable impact that students have when they feel supported and guided and they're given the knowledge and the tools that they need to build a culture from the ground up of inclusivity and support for one another. um, and I think that a lot of times it can be really difficult for adults to put themselves in the perspective of what it's like to be a high schooler after having been removed for so long. And so when students experience struggles, I've seen firsthand that they can get dismissed from teachers or from adults as, you're just 16. It'll be okay. You'll move on. You'll get over it, whatever it might be. But for these kids, it's everything to them. And they're really, really impacted by it. And all they need is someone to just say, "Hey, I'm here with you." Um, and it, it really is just the most fulfilling thing in the world for me to be able to be that person, to be there for the kids, and then to to be able to support my own students and help them learn the ways that they can kind of utilize their strengths to support the people around them.